What's going on, guys? Not a whole lot to going on today. Obviously, with the NBA, with just the two gamer. We'll talk it through a little bit, just about what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to look at it game by game with you guys because we didn't do an early look earlier. Sheets did one, but I did not. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to look at this real quick with current projection. So let's start by Goldie's ownership. He's got Fultz as the most owned player. We'll see if Fultz even plays. Yeah, so it's going to be really hard to get different because this is essentially sort of what I'm building also. Jalen Smith, Okongwu for value, Giannis with Halliburton on the other side, one of Wagner or Banchero. And that's pretty much my main core. The guys I'm looking at we can just scroll down to get different. I think Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis are in play at that conversation. I think that Chris Middleton is in that conversation. Look, it's not a pretty picture, but you got to try and do something a little bit different. I'm just going to take a quick look at the minutes tonight for Middleton. 20, but no, that's Portis. 25. Yeah, still at 25. So it's pretty grim. You could take a shot with Buddy Hield getting hot, and maybe they play him. He's had a good games in the past against Milwaukee. So has Miles Turner, but he's not going to be low owned. Lillard is actually questionable, which I don't really know how we're supposed to break this down with him questionable. If he's out, that's a different story, but we have to wait on that information, obviously. I'm looking at the other pieces, and I'm just not all that thrilled about it. I do think Cam Payne, if Lillard plays, is kind of interesting. You can get really low ownership on him, and Lillard may play a little hobbled or a little less even. So you could see, Cam Payne getting extra minutes. I think he's an interesting guy to get different with. I mentioned Hield, both Middleton, all of Middleton, Portis, and Lopez are pretty logical ones. I think Toppin's getting a little too low ownership here, but it's really just trying to get different in a couple spots is all you can do. Hey, Sheets, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on?
We're just going through this little two gamer here.
I'm just finishing updating the projections for all the sports to the site. It'll be up in a second. The showdown just went up. The NBA, as of now, I don't know if anything's going to change. You never know. But that's going up right now, and the hockey's going up in a minute. And I'm doing that. I was going to say, I'm doing that video with Jordan later where I'm going to be testing out like all the late swap stuff. So I'm going to record that and post it on the site for everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've got me and Rody will be doing our thing a little later too.
Oh, you're doing the position by position thing?
Yeah, and then I'll do a quick live at 7 or 7:15 for football.
When are you doing the position thing?
We'll probably after lock at some point whenever Rody can.
Which lock? Football lock or basketball?
Football, but yeah, I'm honestly I've been having this. It's been crazy windy here, and I thought it was just allergies, but it's been starting to get into my sinuses, and I'm not feeling so hot, so I'm a little slower today. But then again, a day at the DMV will do that to you also, so it's hard to know. Anyway, so I was talking about it's hard to get different from the talk today. I'm having a very hard time finding builds that I like without getting different. So I was sort of going through a list of players that we could use to potentially get different, that have the upside to possibly use with the what seems like pretty good chalk as of right now.
Well, let me take a look. So I presumed. Let me just pull it up. I presume what's considered good chalk would be Okongwu.
What? No, I just mean you're not going to be able to put together a lineup with sub 10% owned players. Everybody double digit owned.
Well, let's start with this. Let's start with Giannis is 10 points projected 10 points higher than the next guy. Do you think you have to use him?
I don't think you have to use any of these guys. I'm just saying that you're not going to find a different pivot that gets you off of another chalky build.
Right.
if you don't do it, then everybody else is going to be who's not doing it will do it that way. Giannis is only projected to be owned by half the field.
That's kind of surprising to me.
I think he probably will be owned a little bit more. I think Halliburton is, right there though, and I think that you play those guys and you live with the results, especially coming off of the bullshit ejection last night for Giannis.
I saw that, by the way.
It's just
that's a little ridiculous.
People pay to go see them at home. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm not there for that. Scott's saying that his build's coming in super heavy on the second game. Does that feel right, or is it the chalky route that I should try to get different from? No, I think that is right. I think the right thing is the first game is actually, to me, more appealing. But, it's just in terms of salary, because I like Giannis and Halliburton. But the interesting thing about the later game is if you get Markelle Fultz out again, you have more pivotable stuff. I know he's supposed to play. Same thing with Jonathan Isaac. It just opens up enough different stuff if those guys are out that you could maybe just get some edge by that. But even that, there are going to be enough people who have that pivotability already later, because they're going to be playing the Atlanta guys like Bogdanovich, who I think is a good play. Okongwu, I think, is a good play. I mean, it could go one way or the other. The interesting thing is, like, if you were getting crazy low ownership on Capella, I would say just play Capella. I actually think you could say just play Capella anyway. But he's not getting, he's going to be 20% owned. So it's not like you're getting crazy different by doing that. That's my point. Is like, if people don't play a Okongwu, they're probably going to be considering Capella. What people won't do is play like Brook Lopez and Miles Turner as a combination at center. That's something you could do.
One guy that I'm seeing at low ownership is Buddy Hield. He's not a 14-game slate kind of guy, but if he's really like sub 10%, maybe even sub 5. Yeah,
he's one of the ones I thought was an interesting one. The problem is that he's not going to play that many minutes, almost hardly ever. He's their 8th man. He's really their 6th man, but they play Nesmith just about as much as him. They play Nembhard a few minutes less than him. They played Jalen Smith just a little less than him. They play TJ McConnell a little bit. It's just, I don't know. It's hard. They just had a lot of bodies in Indy, but you are getting the back-to-back for both of these teams. Maybe there's an angle to playing one of either. I mean, I think Hield's a good one, but I think you could throw Nesmith into the conversation also as a good potential get different guy. Jalen Smith is not a get different guy, but I like Jalen Smith. But if people are going to play him that much over Toppin, maybe that's one way to get a little bit different. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Bobby Portis, though, the more I think about it, I like him better than Brook Lopez. It's a back-to-back for Brook Lopez, and he played 26, 28 minutes last night. He's not a guy who tends to play a ton of minutes on back-to-backs, and it seems more like a speed game, so Bobby Portis might thrive there. I think Bobby Portis is a pretty good play, actually, to get different with. I think Portis, and I like the Hield idea, or Nesmith, but those three seem to stand out to me as three guys we can get different with. And by the way, Anthony Black, who's not projected to be owned at all, of course, will be owned if Fultz is out. But maybe gamble on something like that. Maybe gamble on that Lillard is going to try to play but banged up, and you play a little bit of campaign anyway, something like that. These are the kind of decisions I think that you just try to make, like one or two of these per your lineups, depending on the size, to go with the chalk that you like, which for me is mostly the high owned chalk. You know what I mean? It's mostly going to be the Bogdanovich, one of Jalen Smith or Toppin, Halliburton, and Giannis as a baseline for me.
What do you think about the idea, like you're saying, of? By the way, I'm not seeing Toppin as highly owned at all. That's
the pivot off of Jalen Smith.
I was going to say is when I mentioned Buddy Hield, you're like, well, it's possible that Nesmith plays more. Maybe you could do a thing like either one of those two, like either Hield or Nesmith or something like that.
Yeah, like Hield or Nesmith, because also to speak to that Hield or Nesmith point, Benedict Mathurin played his best game of the season last night, played 38 minutes, and they won pretty easily. So it's kind of weird that he played that many minutes on the front end of the back-to-back. But that's kind of a signal right there that he's definitely not going to play more than 24 minutes, probably, to me. So I think the minutes, and let's see what he's being projected for. I mean, because that's what's been killing these guys is one of these guys gets hot, But why can't it be Neesmith? I mean, it was him last night. Why can't it be one of Neesmith or Buddy Hield, like you said before? I think that's actually probably the way to go. I'm just going to look at the minutes projection here because I think that's important for Indiana. You get into like a whole bunch of different stuff on just 2 gamers than you do on the big ones.
Right, it's true.
So let's just see. So they've got Mathurin at 30 minutes, 29.88. I will bet anything that Mathurin plays under 29 minutes. I'd be willing to bet like anything anybody wants right now. Like I just don't see it happening. And I could be wrong. I'm going to be wrong about these sometimes, but like he's a second-year guy who's 21 years old, if he's even 21 yet. And they have a ton of bodies at the position. There's no reason to overexert him on a back-to-back. Yes, you're trying to win games, but he's not necessarily the better player between Hield. And by the way, Hield has lit up this Milwaukee team a couple times in the past. I think we've talked ourselves into a way to maybe get different. I think I like this Hield or going with at least one of Hield or Neesmith or Toppin maybe. Making sure you have exposure to one of those guys in your lineup, I think is probably a good idea as a way to get different.
Maybe play like a Congo and Capella together or something like that.
I think you're asking because the problem is, well, actually that's not such a, that might actually not be the worst idea.
It's something different, I don't know.
Yeah. I like the Bobby Portis thing too. I think I made a pretty good case there for that with the also the back-to-back for Lopez, but not just Lopez. Like this feels like a Bobby Portis can go nuts game. It also feels like Indiana, almost all of their games are blowouts. They either get blown out by 50 or they win by 50.
Right.
Why can't this be one of those games? And Bobby Portis, 50 off the bench, 50 fantasy points off the bench with 30 real life points. That seems totally doable.
Yeah.
And another guy who was gonna, where's Jay Crowder being owned tonight?
Not always. They've been playing him recently.
Yeah, he's got low, but he's gonna have low ownership tonight. That's something you could do. I don't know if I love him on the back-to-back thing though. It all speaks more to Bobby Portis to me, maybe, more than anything. Yeah, Crowder played 37 minutes last night. That's scary. I would again probably be away from that a little bit. Beauchamp played 26 minutes, but that was because Giannis got ejected. Man, if you played 26, I would do that. Oh, Brody is out.
You playing? I'll do it with you. What time?
No, it's all right. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it in the morning.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm here. I'm here. No one's here with me tonight. So.
Oh yeah, no. I honestly, to me, the idea of not doing it tonight sounds a little better because I don't feel.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of happy that he just wrote that.
Yeah, I'm doing that thing at 7. I'm doing the thing with what's name at 7:30 because I wanted to the games to start so that we could practice the late swap stuff. So I'm going to do it at 7:30 till like 8:15. I just want to make sure my lineups are good, and then I'm just hanging out here watching the game. So if you whatever. Yes. I just got pinged about the message you just sent. That was I didn't check the details, but thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
So the other one, that's the one that people are asking about now. Grant's asking about Middleton. Middleton hasn't played more than 21 minutes.
No, yeah.
And but he didn't play the front end of the back-to-back. So it's also skewing everyone else's numbers when they see, this guy played these minutes. What does that mean? But so Middleton will eat up some of that, extra minute stuff or whatever because he didn't play last night. But I don't think that he's going to play more than 25 minutes. I think that he's playable. But I would rather play the guys like I think I'd rather play Bobby Portis.
Right.
I think Bobby Portis has a high ceiling for minutes tonight. Indiana plays 2 bigs, like 2 semi-bigs. I mean, Toppin's not exactly a big, but Jalen Smith is a pretty. They can have one of Portis, Giannis, and Brook Lopez on the court all the time. I kind of wish that this was a 14-game slate because I have a feeling that Giannis is going to put up like 80 tonight. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really likely outcome.
I currently have Giannis in like all my DraftKings lineups.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have him 100%. I'm not playing that many lineups, but let me just see something about Jalen Johnson. Because of his price raise, I wonder how the field is going to start treating him. I know on this slate he'll be owned, but it's going to be interesting. Everybody's loved him at 5,600, but I'm always curious when they bump those guys at 63 in the field, all of a sudden he goes from 30% owned to like 2% owned. It's something I want to probably keep going after if we next time we get a chance.
Which guy are you talking about?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, why not?
He's been the massive chalk, and he will be chalky tonight. But going forward for the next games, I want to see him at this price and play him because they're really with a $600 price difference. You really can't be 15 times better play than you were. Dame is out. Okay, there's everything changing. There we go. So
Dame is out.
Campaign is going to be the chalk value. It doesn't surprise me that he's out, but I thought they would have announced it earlier in the day because of the new agreement on televised games.
You mean you said Damian Lillard is out?
Yeah. Oh wait, no. He wrote Dame out. So is that official, Paul? Let me see. I don't have the alert yet. Let me just double check. NBA. I don't have it still, but so Paul, confirm if you know that or if you were asking that. I think that you probably know it.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
He's out, and campaign season has been declared apparently.
Yeah, it's going to be Payne. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just talk through this.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to redo all these.
Yeah, so it's going to be Campaign is going to project well. I think all the other guys will. I think this is also, again, when we get back to the other thing, this is also a boost to Bobby Portis because usage can be a thing, which it wasn't going to be with Dame, Middleton, and Giannis really, but with just the two, with just Middleton for 20 whatever minutes and then Giannis, I think you're going to see Portis more involved. I just like the ceiling side for Portis in this matchup. So the other ones that are going to be more in play are Pat Connaughton. He'll be an interesting pivot off of Payne, although I think some people will play both of them. And I'd be curious to see what they put out there for the starting lineup. I also am worried about how much Jay Crowder is going to play on that back-to-back. So I'm trying to give a boost to these other Milwaukee guys, but I don't really know. I guess Beauchamp, Connaughton. It really is Connaughton, Payne. Obviously, everybody else gets a boost as well. Beasley, but
now the idea of Giannis being 45% owned is a pipe dream.
Yeah, it's like 90%, if not higher.
If not 105%.
So that's gonna be the big thing, I guess.
I didn't even know Campaign was on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He did very nicely when he was chalk in Phoenix.
He was, and I remember he went on a playoff run because Chris Paul got hurt for a little bit games, and he was really good.
Yeah,
and he was really bad a couple times too, but he was really good a couple times. It's interesting. I'm curious who they end up. I think they'll start Payne, but they really don't need to start it. Like when you're playing Giannis, you don't really need a point guard. You know what I mean?
You really don't.
So
who else would get a boost? Do you think? Well, I'm just going to update the projections. Connaughton. Okay, that's a shame because I actually had 25% Connaughton already.
Yeah. Now he's
that is a shame.
It's a good matchup for Connaughton
because it's fast paced. You mean?
Yeah, it just gives him an opportunity to do stuff.
Right.
If he doesn't start well, it's risky. I like the idea of Payne and Portis if Payne and Portis both aren't starting.
Tell you, man, this I don't know if you put any bets up there, but this felt like kind of a track meet.
This game?
Yeah.
The problem is the NBA is pretty caught up with it, you know. I actually think that if it wasn't a back-to-back, I think you might have seen like a 250 total for this game.
Yeah.
It's 241.5, but
dude, that Charlotte game ended up going over despite scoring 45 points in the first quarter yesterday.
What's that?
That Charlotte Harlem Globetrotters game ended up going over, even though they scored 45 total points in the first quarter.
I know. That was weird. So, this is a kind of a good game here. It's pretty funny because I look at the Vegas line and I think Vegas was trying to tell us that they knew Dame would be out. It was 2 points for Milwaukee, which actually is pretty close but they're both playing back-to-backs and Giannis didn't play half the game basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be, and it's too bad I said that before, but Giannis is getting 75 or 80 tonight at least. There's no way it's going to happen. No way. I don't see a way not to play him. I really don't. But if you do, you will be different.
That's true.
I mean, I guess there's a way, like you play both Trey and DeJounte and you hope that the other guys do all the work. I don't know. But it's just hard to imagine on this night of all nights, like that Giannis wouldn't just
go off.
It's really hard to picture, but like maybe that's the right idea on 2 games late. Now you have one really basic thing you could do. Just play the chalk elsewhere and you're probably different enough to at least be competitive to win.
Maybe the game blows out.
But even if it does, like, doesn't he still get 65? Like,
I guess
he hasn't looked good this year, but like that's partly because they've been trying to get Dame acclimated and everything. I don't know. Maybe there's. I mean, look, things happen, man. It's possible.
Putting up these. That looks good, actually.
It's pretty stupid that the NBA didn't. I mean, this is a day where you have TV games only. How can you? I guess this might be NBA TV. You know what? It might not be TNT tonight. I think
What?
The NBA. So that's actually probably why they could announce it this late. I'm pretty sure if the game was on TNT, they wouldn't be allowed to announce this late unless there was something flared up or something.
All right, so I think what I should probably do is get out of here so that I can
run your stuff.
Yeah, so I could do the new stuff without the Dame. I'll give it a few minutes and then
yeah. I'll post an update of some of my exposure after I have the info in before.
And when are you going to do the
NFL?
Yeah,
just right after lock, I think.
I'll go with you at 7 if you want because I don't have my recording until 7:30 if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. Perfect.
All right, so I'll see you back here like 7ish.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Okay.
Good luck, everybody. We'll see you in the Discord.